Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back. Today it is today is November 19th, 2023 AD. It is Sunday at 12:36 p.m. in Jersey in the United States. I am Stephanos, and this is Be Extra, a knitting podcast by Stephanos. Be extra, be proud, be brave, knit what you want, love what you knit. And yeah, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And this channel is to embrace and celebrate everyone's creativity. It is not to be arrogant when I say be extra, but to just be proud in what you're creating. Okay, so today I am so yeah, next week is gonna be Thanksgiving. So I'm going to title this episode Holidays because now, from now until, January, we will have a lot of holidays. Everyone uh, will celebrate different type of holidays. So instead of just focusing on one thing, I just, put it in the general theme holidays. So I started recording this episode right away to the finished object section, but then I forgot to cover the tips sharing section. So this section is actually recorded after the finished objects, but I just switched the order during the editing. So you will um, I will talk more about the whole episode or the continuation from the last episode to this episode in the finished object. But right now, I will focus on the tip suggestion. So the tip suggestion, I guess it is a general suggestion, and it's just a suggestion from me to that I find working really well, especially during the holiday. So the tips here, I will put the all the tips summarized in one page here. Is how to survive the holidays. Tip number one: you don't owe anyone gifts. You heard that right. Tips number one: you don't owe anyone any gift. Tip number two: you don't owe anyone a visit. Tip number three: if you do visit and gift, you can still leave the place or the situation when you feel uncomfortable. And tip number four: people will offer you suggestion, just like what I'm doing. People will offer you their opinion, their judgment, their comment. You can always smile at them and go to your safe space if you don't feel comfortable. I find this suggestion really, helping me to survive holidays. Why? Because during holidays, especially uh, when I do a lot of traveling to go visit family members all the way back in Indonesia, I will see all my friends, all my family friends, and everyone back home, and also, everyone that I might meet during the visit, but they might still be my family, but I'm not connected to them. It's just a guide that I put on myself to not stress myself out, and also to just enjoy the holiday. And I guess, if you find holidays to be really stressful, you know, I the suggestion is just try not to stress yourself out. I know there are a lot of expectation during holiday where people, oh, you need to make something for someone, make something to donate, make something, and you only have between November and December, let's say, to make everything in your list. And you just find yourself stressed out while you're trying to finish things at work, or you're take care of your family, or take care of your friends and all that. So again, you don't owe anyone any gift. You don't owe anyone a visit. If you do gift or visit someone, you can always leave the place when it's not comfortable, or even when it becomes hostile. And, you know, um, and just smile and remove yourself from any situation when, it's just turned into a hostile situation. So hopefully that um, resonates with anyone. And I'm not saying you should stop knitting your gift. Go ahead. I'm knitting the gift that I'm planning since the beginning. But I know another thing that in my mind, when I do gift it, I have this mnemonic device. When I gift something, let's say I'm giving this, my mnemonic device is when you give something, your giving hand is upside down. Meanwhile, the receiving hand is opened up. When I give something using my giving hand, I cannot expect anything back because my giving hand is not opening up. It's not at the receiving position. When I give something, I don't expect anything. I don't expect them to send pictures. I don't expect them to send, I don't know, a video with them running around in the snow with the hat mitten that I made. I give it to them. I know they can do whatever with it. So that way, you don't stress yourself out, and you don't stress the recipients also. Just because you make a baby blanket for the whole summer, it doesn't mean that the person or the parents who will receive that blanket need to send you a written thank you note letter right away, or send you a picture with the baby in the blanket. They're busy. New parents are busy. Stop it. Give it to them. Don't expect anything back. That's what I told to myself. You can do whatever you want. It's just, to me, let's not stress ourselves, both the giver of the gift and the recipient of the gifts, during holiday. So just be extra. Be extra. Say, hey, I'm extra. I'll make you a baby blanket. You can take it for your new baby if you want. If not, do whatever with it. No, no, no. I don't need you to send me a thank you note with a card with a perfume on the card, and then put an envelope with a color coordinate letter card and an envelope. And oh, yeah, no, I don't need you to send me a picture of the baby in the blanket set against, like I don't know, a Jesse Penny, settings. No. I need you to know that I was thinking of you. And if you want it, here you go. If not, don't worry about it. I was thinking of you, that's all. All right. And I'm sure I will lose a lot of audience by giving or sharing these tips. You know, another thing, if I may, have a motto to help you during your holiday. Again, so let's just be clear here. I came from a queer background where, you know, if you're queer or, ally, you understand what it is or how it is to grow up as a queer person. Just remind yourself when you're in a situation that brings back that memory when you grew up, there is there are a lot of oppressors around you, you know, just to make you realize that you're different. Remember how you get out of that situation stronger. What motto did you use? My motto is, yeah, my motto is use all this leftover yarn. We all have one of these, right? Yeah, we have all one of these, right? I use my leftover yarn to paint a panoramic picture and put my motto on it. You can read it. Yeah. In fact, I will put it as my background on my cell phone and put it there for the entire holiday season. So, just remind yourself that when you're being oppressed, the oppressor is not the stronger part. The bigger and stronger person is you because you are able to get out of the situation. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's a little bit too much sharing, but it's just a way that maybe, people can use or whatever, share. Anyway, I'm continuing what I have been doing since 2 weeks ago. If you go back to the previous two episodes after, or I guess if you go back to the episode right after Rhine back, I have been knitting or following my uh, end of year knitting plan where I have a couple of sweater quantities that I want to start working on. But before that project or before starting those projects, I have a couple of items I need to finish because there are a couple of events that I'm involved in that I will be providing some items or give away some items. So if you go back to the previous episode, or if you have watched the previous episode, I have been knitting a mitten. So the last week's mitten is still showing here. This is still the same setup as last week. So I finished this full mitten. Using the pine and wool pattern called Snowdrift. And this is using yarn by Jador Fibers. Um, and this is their fingering yarn that I held double. So at the end, it acts like a decay. And then I just work my gauge to get the actual suggested gauge. I also mentioned about or give a suggestion on or tips in the previous episode on gauge tension. If so, it's about my own formula that I follow when I use a pattern or all patterns by designers that are new to me, so that in the future, if I go back to work on their other patterns, I will be able to follow my notes in terms of gauge and tension. So, after last week, I mentioned I want to make another one of the mitten, but I wanted to modify. So instead of a full mitten, I was going to make a fingerless mitten. So this middle part right here, I'm not gonna take it out because I think you can see it from afar because it's pretty nice size that you can see it. So as you can see, it's larger to begin with than this guy. And I intentionally did that because, again, this is also to give away, and the average hand size of the people that I will be giving this away is kind of like my size, so this fits perfectly. Um, so if it ends up, you know, uh, for me at the end, anyway, I will be able to use it. But anyway, the intention here is to give this away. So as you can see, I have one and two, and this is, it's one of those cable pattern that is really beautiful, classic looking pattern, because it's not just cable. There's the seat stitch there that I really love when it's mixed with a cable motif, and the cable is kind of like framing the seat stitch. So you know that's really really nice. Um, what else? And also, if you see here, I also have another skein of this yarn. So this yarn is Echo Llama, and it's 100% llama. So the what I found, so I've never worked with llama yarn before. I found this is very soft. So this might not be the best yarn to use for cable, because this guy right here is amazing. As you can see, this shows really, I mean, the cables pop really nicely. This is a non-superwash pure merino wool, and that non-superwash make it really, I don't know, it's really perfect for cable. But this is really it's much softer than the non-superwash, even though this is still 100% llama. Um, and I would assume non-superwash. I need to check, but it doesn't really matter because it is so soft. It feels amazing when I tried it on after I finished it, and I'm like, can I just skip it? But anyway, so that's what my finished object, and I will now go into the suggestion, I guess. Um, I will switch this because I would like the suggestion to be in the front. So I will edit this. So the tips and suggestion will be in the front, and then after the finished object, I will go into my whip. Now let's go back to knitting. Ooh. So yes, work in progress. What am I doing? So you see, I have another skein of this that I want to make another mitten, but I did something bad. I misplaced, or I don't remember where I left my Alaska hat. Oof. I think I lost it. So I need another hat. And last year, when I went to Rhinebeck, um, during one of the event around Rhinebeck, let's just say an event around Rhinebeck. It was a Friday event. I'll just leave it there. I met this lady, Italian lady, and she was vending for this fiber called Myak. And Myak, it's 100%, this is 100% baby yak. And it is naturally soft. It is spun from the finest baby yak and cashmere wools from the Tibetan plateau. Um, and it is 50 grams skeins, and it is 117 meters. So when I passed by her booth, I told her, hey, ciao signora, ho guardato il suo canale su YouTube e mi piace il suo canale. And so I was just introducing myself, saying, hey, actually, I saw you on YouTube. But and then I mentioned I never used your yarn before. So tell me which of your the yarn that I should start with. And then she was like, who are you going to make this for? And I was like, maybe it's something for me to begin with. Maybe, like just a hat, just something small. And then she was like putting this against my skin. I'm like, and she was like, this is new. The color is amarena. And she was like, take this. I'm like, what? Yeah, she said, take this. What do you mean take? How much? She was like, don't worry, take that. So, um, signora, ti ringrazio per questa cosa e ti ringrazio. So I was so thankful and I decided to make a hat to donate. So I will put a picture here. So that's the hat that I made from the free skein from her. And when I get home, I ordered two more skeins. So this is one of them, and this is the one that I started working. So I have 100 grams, and it's been one full year for me to actually work on it. And now, I finally have the reason to make the hat because, well, the reason is a bad reason because I lost my Alaska hat. I really want to find this Alaska hat, so I need to trace back. Ooh. Trace back meaning I have to go back to the yarn store or yarn stores. Because I might have lost it in the yarn stores like 3 weeks ago. If you go back to the episode, I think I titled it Plans. The episode where I talk about all my knitting plans for the rest of the year. So I think I need to go there just to find my hat. Not to shop, just to find my hat. Or a museum in the Vassar College University. I will put it. So I went to a museum in a private college because they're actually having at that time an exhibition on quilt by BIPOC community. So who knows? Um, Hopefully, I did not lose the hat in the museum. Hopefully, I lost the hat in the yarn store. So I will have more time to search for a hat in the store that sells yarn. Anywho, what am I saying? Oh yeah. So I'm making this. So the plan here is to make a cable hat just like the one that I donated, but for me, this time, and I really like if you go back to the Rhinebeck episode. I really like a fisherman hat. So basically, just like this hat, I like just ribbing that is a little right on top of my ears, but it's folded ribbing, so maybe three times folded, and then the rest is really following my head because I really like the shape of my head when I put on the cap or the hat. So so it's not gonna be a lot of work, but it's going to be all over cables, and I'm not following any pattern. But I do want to put like a classic Aaron sweater cable, um, like motifs all over, and definitely I will put some seat stitch on it because I do love, now it's kind of like my obsession, seat stitch um, combined with cables. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Another thing, um, if we go back to the holiday, hopefully again, everyone will have a good holiday. For Thanksgiving, Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, I'm going to see Nutcracker Balanchine production, or like choreography in New York Ballet Theater at Lincoln Center. It's my annual tradition to go see Nutcracker. Um, like every year I have to see, well, I don't have to, but I would love to see the Nutcracker in the winter, and also at some point Turando Met Opera. So the opera, my favorite opera is Turando by uh, Puccini, and just as a cliche to bring in the holiday vibe or mood, it's the ballet Balanchine, or however you say it, Nutcracker. Now, what am I gonna wear? Remember, or not remember, but if you watch the previous episode, the one where I was showing the cashmere lace wrap that I was knitting using the cashmere yarn that I got from Venice, Italy. So yes, I am going to be extra. I will wear this. Mm-hmm. It will have its grand entrance. It will have its grand entrance to the ballet house next week. I still don't know what sweater I'm going to wear. Definitely, I'm going to wear a sweater. I'm not going to wear a blazer. Um, Maybe I will wear my Giotto sweater or pullover. And, or, I don't know, but this will be worn. Or maybe I can also wear crisp white shirt underneath. No, it's too formal with crisp white shirt for, What should I wear? Would anyone? Yeah, no. I want to be artsy rather than formal. I want to be artsy. So maybe one of my sweater. Maybe this. No, this is my day sweater. Even though it does. Anyway, this will be worn. So yeah, I will. I will have that um, the day after Thanksgiving, and now you see this, and hopefully, okay, all right. Message, message received. World. Okay, these two will be the stars. Yeah, these two will be the stars. Cable on the top, lace on the middle, and then white shirt something. I don't know. Maybe white button up or white whatever long sleeve something. Yes. Okay, let me see. And don't worry, there will be pictures. Oh, if you follow me on Instagram, there will be pictures on Instagram on this. Do you see this? Yeah. And oh, it could be that. Could be. So maybe just a white shirt, this, and then a coat instead of a sweater. Because then I can take off the coat inside and still have this. Oh my god, I'm thinking too much. I'll think about it. But that's um another thing. Another thing that I just learned before I finish this is if you also watch previous episodes, I forgot which episode I talk about this monster. Uh, no, maybe no. Maybe I don't need to say anything. Um, no, not today. Not today's. Oh, another thing. Suggestion. Um, Dyers, listen, Dyers, listen. When are we gonna have Advent minis with the color theme of Drag Race Girls? I'm waiting. I mean, look, I will be the first, well, I will try to be the first one every time there will be an Advent mini color theme. Let's say Bianca, Katya. So, Bianca, maybe you can have like dark, really, really dark black, colorway with some gray. And then for Katya, maybe some sort of like dark purple. And who else? Who else? And Rue, you can have like, I don't know, teal and golden, you know. And then who else? Let's see. And then Trixie, you can have black, white, and yellow. And Valentina, oh please, can somebody make a beautiful red Valentina red colorway in your mini? And then, um, like this. This is Valentina. And then, you know, some blue or purple or periwinkle for Jan, Jan, and then some sort of maroon for Sasha, velour, or rose, really nice rose. And then, if you can make, tweedy, colorful tweedy for Gigi Good. And then if you have another black, just black, maybe that's for Aquaria, you know. This is just suggestion. And then red rose again for um, Sasha Velour. Just a suggestion, When are we gonna have this? Um, I never bought any Advent minis, but with this, with this, take my money. Take my money. Just a suggestion. You're out there. Sassy dyers. I need you. I need you to start working on that. I need you to start working on that. And if you need name suggestion, contact me. My Instagram is in the description box. And anyway, that's just a joke. By the way, I know I never mention, I just don't like to mention it, like to get people to follow, to subscribe, whatever. People can do whatever. Because this is really not, I don't know. This is mostly for me to just journal my knitting journey and sharing, I guess. Whatever, I'm doing with my time outside of work. Hopefully, people have something they are passionate about outside of work to just replenish themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I I notice I have now about 100 subscribers. Thank you and welcome. And I'm not asking you to subscribe. Really, you can unsubscribe. You can. I'm just saying, I never thought there will be people watching this crazy show. Not show, but anyway, I don't like a lot of things, and I do things. So, Stavanos, what is happening? Anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to say. Oh, ooh. As I shift this way, I see that. Before I go, let me share a secret. Okay? Again, if you've been following the channel, you might have heard me saying, hey, I'm a monogamous knitter. I only have one project at a time. Well, let me update my statement. There is this project that I have started since, or actually, this project is how I started knitting, or one of the project that I started when I started knitting. It is, and I decided to keep it as a living project for a couple of reasons. By keeping it and continue working on it whenever I decide to, and most of the time it's when, and this is why I love living in the East Coast, whenever it gets so cold and whenever it is a ski season. I love to ski, even though this color, look like this. I do love to ski. And I like to go to on a ski trip. either upstate New York or Vermont, New Hampshire, wherever, with some friends and stay in a ski cabin. And whenever I do that, this is what I'm going to show you is the project that I will bring. I'm not going to bring anything like sweater that I will wear during or socks. No, 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 no. It's this one. And also knowing that I'm not going to finish it during the trip, but I know I will add more inches to the length of this project. And as I said, this is a project I started when I just started knitting. So this is not a difficult project. So this project is a queen size ribbed ribbing 2x2 ribbing blanket uh, in the style or colorway of the native Canadian sweater, where they're using this natural color, lamb or wool color, where they don't put any colors to the wool. So they can have either white, gray, or black. uh I think it's called Kowichan. Maybe if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I will place a text here of the style of the knitting style that inspired it. So again, it is still on the needle. It will always be on the needle until it reached the king size, king bed size. And before I show it, one main reason why I decided to do that, is that I actually can follow the change in my knitting gauge from when I started until now. When I started, I realized I was really loose. And then now, after working with, lace, a lace weight, a lace project, and then color work, either mosaic or color work, like actual color work, or like a fair isle or cables, I find myself to be a much tighter knitter. So let me just show you. And it is living in this beautiful Hohi Locatelli bag. This is the Pampa extra large. And I need this size. Well, I don't need it. I can use like a trash bag if I want, to. But I was able to be extra on this. So this is it, y'all. Let me prepare myself in showing this. So again, this is the biggest cable, I think 60-inch cable. So things are really like pushed together. But let me get up. That's how far it is. Maybe halfway, but use and then the width. So this, start from here, keep going. So here, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I think there is about 300 or 400 or whatever, up to 500 stitches on here. And you see how the colors, so I have white, black, and gray. But when I started, I was not bougie enough. So I was using acrylic. So, and I don't mind using acrylic on something, you know, I don't mind. Like I like to have wool and everything that is warm to wear something like this when it's being practical. But here, I don't mind. Anyway, and then I was being bougie also. I was trying right away some sort of color work. I was gonna make like the letter S to indicate my name, Stephanus, but then I just stopped because I ran out of this bling blingy. I can find this. It is all these yarn is from Michaels, so I can go back to Michaels when I want to add the bling. But what I'm trying to say here, you can see that if you, I just added maybe like 5 rows this past month. But you can see this row from this side to the bottom part, how the density is different. Again, that tells you, the different tension that I have as I continue knitting. Um, and I, it's kind of nostalgia to have this while it's still a life project kind of thing. Whenever I, go back and work on this, um, and again, as I mentioned, I always go back to this project whenever it starts, freezing outside. And when especially during this Thanksgiving, I'm not going anywhere. Definitely, there will be mornings when, I make my morning coffee, sit somewhere, and live my pumpkin spice latte fantasy. But isn't it beautiful? It's just a 2x2 ribbing that is wide enough, as wide as a queen size bed, and it will go as long as a king size bed, and it will go as long as a king size bed. And once I get there, I will just bind off. And I I've been debating if I should use my leftover yarn, which means like real, like natural fiber, and mix it with this acrylic. I don't know. The whole idea here is initially to practice my stitches, but then it becomes something that I will definitely use when I finish it. So maybe if I have, that's the thing, I do also like natural color, natural fibers yarn. So I have a lot in my drawer. I keep looking at my drawer, and I will never show my knitting drawer on the channel because I don't know. It's just I just don't like to show my yarn on the channel. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's just my preference. I like my extra painting that I made, that I painted, and my plant on the channel rather than my yarn. But I keep looking at it. But I do have some natural colors. So maybe at some point when I ran out of all the acrylic color, natural color yarn. So I think I have one more black acrylic skin. And when I so one skin of black is that much. You see that black stripe? That's how much one. Maybe that is two skeins. I don't know. I don't really care how thick each stripe is. As you can see, I have more of the white skein here, so I just continue with white. And oh yes, that's why I think I will keep it acrylic, because I want to be able to wash it, and you know because if I use a non superwash yarn, it will be a little bit uh, cumbersome in the maintenance of it. I would love to just be able to, hey, it's kind of dirty. Can we kind of do something about it? But this is it, y'all. This is. Can you imagine? Mm. Yes. Oh, this is gonna be a good picture for the. And then this. Yes. Yes. Cozy yourself up. Mm. But yeah, that's my secret. So when I say I am a monogamous, I have one little secret that I do have another project that is living in this big sassy bag. And this way, I can always tell people when they said, "Well, you're a monogamous knitter. You never know what it feels like to have multiple." Actually, I do have another projects, one other project at all time. I just never talk about it. But come on, how beautiful is that? It's acrylic, but when you put pizzazz to it and your extraness, it looks good, right? Looks good. Anyway, that's all. My battery's dying. Have a great holiday. Remember my suggestion, take it or leave it, but always have a motto and a safe space. So be extra, be proud, be brave, love what you knit what you love. So be extra, be proud, be brave, love what you knit what you love. And until next time, happy holiday. Bye.